Coming up on this episode of Outlook TV. Get your drag on with Walk This Way.
Stack the Rack, a wine fundraiser for community.
Boulet Brothers Dragula's second season launch. And much, much more. Hello, and welcome to Outlook TV. I'm Rebecca Wyman.
And I'm Robert Mackay, and you're watching the Queer Magazine news show that brings you the stories that matter the most from coast to coast.
We're going to kick it off at Club XY for Hyperdrag.
It's not good enough if it's just basic drag. You want to crank it up to hyper. Let's see what that's all about.
Tonight we're at XY for Hyperdrag, a show that challenges conventions of gender in the drag community. Let's see who's here and what's going on tonight.
Welcome to XY Nightclub tonight. This is Hyperdrag. I am your host, all my bitches. Well, Hyperdrag is a night that I created in response to, I host some shows here every Sunday, and it's a drop-in show, so anybody can drop in and do drag. And I had some women that were doing drag, and that was ruffling some people's feathers. They had comments and said that you're not a real drag artist and stuff like that, and I was like, what year is that? Hello. So I decided to dedicate a night to these amazing performers that have been helping me out on Sunday nights here.
So Hyperdrag is essentially, it started kind of as bio-drag originally, so biological female women that were doing drag, but essentially bio queen and bio drag is a little bit exclusionary, so it's now Hyperdrag, so it's more inclusive to include people who are not necessarily born biological women, but are femme-presenting, femme-identifying, trans women, so it's more inclusionary as Hyperdrag.
If you get on that stage, if you're good, you know? So that was one of the things, is somebody walked up to my drag daughter, who's a hyper queen, a cis woman that's doing drag, and they said, oh, I was liking your performance, but once I realized you were a real woman, it became boring to me. What is that about? You know, gender has no place in drag. Drag is all about blurring gender lines, whether you were, you know, I don't even want to say born a man or woman, you know, because it's all whatever, you know? So you get on that stage, if you're entertaining, entertain me. That's all I want. Yes.
I love drag. The drag community is something I've always been interested in. I love being able to perform, to dance.
How you doing that? How you doing that?
I think drag is just an expression of gender in general, whatever that may be, whether it be female, male, something in between, even animalistic kind of characters. So I don't think it's important in the drag community. I think just whatever you want to do, go for it.
You need to come out to our shows. You need to support us. You need to make yourself seen. You need to come, pay cover, come in, meet a queen, go outside afterwards and talk about what you like, talk about your interest in drag. It's not going to happen through the keyboard. You have to come out to drag shows.
This is Boy Spence reporting on Queer Vancouver with Outlook TV.
Up next, we're going to take you to Walk This Way.
It's like going back to school, but for drag. You get to update your drag style, and Derek's got the story.
Today we're at a local business called Walk This Way, providing the community with wigs, dresses, accessories, and more. They just recently moved to a new location, so let's go in and check it out.
The services that we supply here was something I wished was available 15 years ago when I was dressing up. Unfortunately, and also, I suppose, fortunately, I went through humiliation, ridicule, comments, snickers, points, and also kicked out of a national women wear store for buying a dress for myself. And that was almost the turning point for me, because I wanted a comfortable, fun experience. So I went back to business school while I was working full-time, just to see if this was a necessary business. Do people really need it? Is it scalable? Can we open across the country to help people all across Canada and the United States? And yes, and yes, we can do all of that. So thankfully, with a team of great designers and support staff, we're able to offer services for our clients.
It's great to help accentuate the feminine line. So one-on-one time really opens up your time with every person, and you get to know the person, not just throw them, this dress will look good on you, and that's it. It's like, where are we going with this dress? Do you want a little few details? We can add pins to this. That color would be like more amazing if we added a few gold, and it never hurts to rhinestone something.
Well, one thing in particular is a 40-foot runway. Can I say that? 40-foot runway. The 40-foot runway is part of the Sway experience when you come here. You do not necessarily have to work it like the professional models do, but because it's a private space, you can start with one step at a time, and that's what we do. We help you one stiletto step at a time. We're so fortunate now with this larger space, we actually build our dresses on site, custom dresses. We also do modifications. So if a girl has a dress in the back of her closet and it's just sitting there and perhaps doesn't necessarily fit, we can modify it and make it so that it becomes alive again. We don't always necessarily get a chance to come together. So the Sway Girls Night Out invites all of those individual communities to come together. And we have a blast coming together. There's prizes, there's sponsors that offer prizes as well. The most recent one that we hosted, we had 75 girls. The next one that we're going to host, we're anticipating over 100. And not only do new friendships begin, but the circle of support for our community is stronger. And that's the real reason why we do it.
Well, that was an incredible experience at Walk This Way. Here I am decked out in everything I need for my next drag night out. I'll definitely be coming back here sometime. I'm Derek, reporting for Outlook TV in Vancouver.
We're going to have to take a little break now.
Our cameraman's in desperate need of fashion help, and me and Rebecca are on the case.
Really? You think this is going to help?
We're going to help. Look, we're beautiful.
Welcome back. You're watching Outlook TV.
Up next, we're going straight to VIFF to find out what's gay.
Gay? At VIFF?
Oh, there's always a little bit of it. Let me tell you.
We are at the Vancouver International Film Festival with Phil Grabsky, screening his wonderful documentary, David Hockney, at the Royal Academy of Arts.
Hockney is, I think, an artist that genuinely, people, in the years to come, in the decades and the centuries to come, will be considered as a great artist. He's been openly gay since, I don't know, since he was maybe early 20s. It's been a part of his art. He's never been anything other than quite open about that, which is great. When he moved from Britain to Los Angeles, it was very much a part of his art. The two exhibitions that our film are based on were at the Royal Academy of Arts in 2012 and 2016. The 2012 exhibition was called A Bigger Picture and reflected a moment when, for personal reasons in his own life, somebody close to him had died. He went back to Yorkshire, which is his home county in Britain, and started painting the nature there. He's better known as a figurative painter. Even though he was then in his 8th decade, he's now in his 9th decade, he has this appetite and enthusiasm to embrace new technologies. So many of the artworks that you'll see in the film were actually painted, if that's the correct word, even on iPads. These were fantastic. And interestingly enough, if I can say this, they look better in the cinema even than they did in the gallery, which is interesting. 2016, which was the companion piece, because as Hockney himself says, there's basically 3 things in art. You've got still lives, you've got portraits, you've got landscapes. So in 2016 he did portraits. 82 portraits and 1 still life. The still life because somebody didn't turn up so he actually did an alternative. But these are 82 portraits. Somebody like us now, or like yourself, sitting on a chair, looking at David Hockney within a 3-day period. So they had this, he basically got people to sit there. He said, you've got to sit there for 3 days. When I'm painting, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm too busy. To be comfortable, wear comfortable clothes, and I'm going to create your portrait. And one of the sitters says, you know, it was interesting when she saw the portrait of herself, it was a reflection of herself she's not used to. Because normally, if she's looking in the mirror, she's putting on a face. When a photograph is taken of her, she's put on a face. But when you're sitting for 3 days, you can't do that. It is actually your natural look to some extent. When you look carefully, it's extraordinary. We're the only mammals that can do this, and it does show what we can do. And part of my job, I think, is to tell the best stories possible, film them as well as I can, and just try to convey that to an audience.
This is Denise Goldberg with OutlookTV.
Let's head off to the home show.
We're going to see a whole bunch of things I can never afford, but they'll be beautiful.
We're at the Vancouver Convention Center West for the Vancouver Fall and Home Show 2017. Today we're going to meet some of the designers and the people that put it all together to see what's new and exciting for 2017. Please join us.
We got involved in this just through the building community. We thought that the home show was a really great place to show kind of off our work as well as connect with the consumer face to face.
I'm an interior designer, so we have a boutique firm. We're based out of Port Moody, and we're called Jane Banfield Designs. So we work on amazing residential projects, so new builds, renos, condos, all those fun things. We worked with BC Hydro, so we create the smart home here, which is also super fun, working with fun appliances by like Samsung and a really cool TV called The Frame. So we've got a TV in there that actually looks like a piece of art, so it's beautiful. So we're kind of like cutting the divorce right now between husbands and wives. They're fighting over TV or not. I worked on a feature, so we don't do a lot of furniture, but we worked on a feature called Double Take. So it's kind of a high and low end. So we worked with a really cool company, OMG and Ginger Jar, amazing guys for furniture, and we played on 2 vignettes that mimic each other and look the same, but they're 2 different price points, which was really fun also. We partner with Kohler, so there's a Kohler signature store, and we launched our own millwork line, which is in kitchen and bath industry. Our own cabinetry line about 1.5 years ago. So we have a vignette in there called the Banfield, and it's exclusive with that showroom. It's on Fern Broadway.
So we've designed this really cool lounge. It's meant to be themed off of 1920 Prohibition era, making sure that people are relaxed and have a drink in their hand. That was our goal for this lounge. I've recently become a member of the Loud Board Foundation, and we're really excited to have a new, fresh board. The guys who were there before us did an awesome job, but we are excited to relaunch Loud as this on our 3 pillars and really make it something special. Loud is all about, you know, GLBTQ community as well as the Friends, and I represent the Friends portion of this. I want everybody to be open and be able to accommodate everyone no matter what color, purple, green, orange.
Heard you were a thrower of rainbows. Can you tell us about that?
I believe that color is transformational, and people think I'm a rainbow thrower because my work, my person, all the things around me are colorful. So it's sort of becoming my thing that I am bringing color to the masses by way of little bits and pieces. So effectively, I'm throwing rainbows all over the world, getting people to love color again and not be scared and get out of the grayish.
For Outlook TV, this is Angus Pratt at the 2017 Vancouver Home Show.
Let's go stack the rack. It's a fundraiser for community.
And I hear there's a bunch of wine available.
That's what you're stacking the rack with.
Ooh, let's check it out.
I'm at the Rosewood Hotel, Georgia for the Van City Stack the Rack event, benefiting Community, a nonprofit organization that benefits the lives of queer, trans, and two-spirited people. Tonight's event is a wine tasting event, and I'm very excited because I'm very thirsty. Let's go.
We have
have some performances. I'm going to do a performance. Some of the members of the Sisters are going to be doing a performance. We have 10 wineries. There's food. It's going to be a good time.
Can you tell us a little bit about what community does and what services it provides?
Basically, we work with youth all the way to seniors. Our youth program is one of our most exciting programs, Gab Youth. We work with kids from 14 to about 23. And this year, for our queer prom, we had almost over 500 kids show up. Our seniors program, we have our friendly visitors program that visits queer seniors in their homes. We have a community meal programs with our seniors and our elders tea. And really, the point of our seniors program is to honor the people that punched out of the closet for us.
What is a wine whisperer?
What I'm trying to do is just take some of the intimidation perhaps that might go with someone who doesn't have a lot of experience going to a wine event. So I'm going to talk to them about the wines, give them any information they might want to know about where the wine comes from. Most of what we're pouring tonight is from BC, but we also have a terrific winery from South America, so I want to talk about that as well. So there's just an opportunity just to kind of share what I know from doing wine and food for far too many years.
For the pink holidays, what I would recommend having is something absolutely fabulous, which is bubbly, pink, and festive. It's our reserve sparkling wine, our Brut Rosé, and it just got released today. And it is available from the winery starting today.
The wines I would recommend for the pink holidays would be our Mixed Blessings Viognier and our Syrah.
And what is so special about those wines?
Well, the Mixed Blessings Viognier is 100% Viognier, and it's just a beautifully balanced wine that will go very well with turkey. So coming up for the holidays, it would be a nice one. And the Syrah is just a lovely, balanced, fruit-forward Syrah that's been enjoyed by many.
All that we need is freedom in our hearts.
We rely heavily on government funding, and so the funds that we raise at an event like this are unrestricted funds. So it's a real opportunity for us to be creative in our programming and do a bunch of different ideas that we can't necessarily get through grants. So this is key, important funding for us that we raise on nights like this.
This is Sister Fancy Pants for Outlook TV. It was a great event. I only had one glass of every wine. Have a great night.
It's time for us to take a little break.
Way ahead of you, Rebecca. Wicka, wicka, wick. That breaking?
No, I think that's scratching.
We are the Boulet Brothers.
And you are watching Outlook TV. Happy Halloween, darlings.
Welcome back. You're watching Outlook TV.
In this next story, we're going to Toronto for all sorts of kinky shopping.
Ooh, fetish and kink shopping. Sounds fun.
Holidays are coming up.
As you can see by some of the items in the window, it's all leather, all fetish, all the time. Where this store has closed everyone famous, from people like Katy Perry, Enrique Iglesias, the Queen of Pop herself, Madonna, and even Paris Hilton. And now it's time to choose an outfit for the next gay leather event. Just here with George, and we're going to talk about a little bit of Northbound history, who's been with the LGBTQ community for over 60 years and donated in excess of $400,000 in not only cash, but leather goods to such amazing places such as Casey House, as well as Heart of the Flag, and other notable community groups. So thank you very much for your time.
Not a problem, not at all. By the way, I'm not 60 yet. That's just, it's a generational business, and it was my father before me, but we've been in the village before there was a village.
That's amazing to hear that you have such a long-standing history of supporting and serving our community, and specifically the fetish community. So thank you very much for helping provide some of the amazing gear that I'm actually wearing today that has come through that history.
Leather was a protective material. It was used in firemen's coats, in welders' aprons, in all sorts of protective gear. Currently, it's being replaced by things like Kevlar, but traditional
Traditional leather armors were even there
Right.
from medieval points, and I like the way that you've harkened back to some of their original concepts, which you can see even in your vests.
Yeah.
I like the cummerbelt personally. A little bit of restriction is a nice thing.
Yeah, we have cummerbunds and we have also corsets. Specifically, I mean, men used to wear corsets back in Victorian times and previous.
You're going to actually laugh. I chose not to wear mine today, but I have an amazing piece from Northbound that I actually wore in my Mr. Leatherman run.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, we should get some pictures of that in this.
We definitely should. I would love to do something like that with you at some point. Would you like to take a walk with us and perhaps show us maybe one of your favorite pieces in the store right now?
Sure.
I like that. I like the way it frames the rump. Anything that you can say about Northbound gear is it always shows off a good ass.
Variations on it. And I really like to wear these with a pair of combat boots and whatever else you want on top.
Nice. Thank you very much for showing us your favorite piece of gear in the store. So this is where the magic begins?
Yeah, this is where the leather goes on the table. And then pattern piece is put. In this case, this is a corset. So then it goes like that. And knife goes to it and we slice it up, and then it creates basically the pieces for a garment. The garments are then bundled, and the bundles are given to the machine operators, sewing machine operators.
Thank you very much, George, for actually spending the time to get us acquainted with your store, showing us around, and not just that, taking us behind the scenes to where all that magic is made.
You're most welcome. Thank you very much for considering us worthy of your camera.
If you're a Dragula fan, and of course you are, you're going to love this next one. We go to the launch for season 2.
Ooh, I can't wait, because I haven't seen it.
Tonight we're at the Val Villa for Drag Monsters with the Boulet brothers. We'll be previewing season 2 of Dragula. Let's check it out.
It's basically a punk rock drag competition. That's what it is. It's a celebration of counterculture drag, and it's also a little bit of a trip into shock territory, because we have our contestants do lots of different challenges. We take them on location a lot. They do a lot of dangerous, scary, and shocking competitions to rise to the occasion.
I think for season 1, it was our kind of proof of concept, and we had an idea, so we just put it out there, and we really kind of we weren't looking for anyone to give us the okay for that. When it made such a huge impact on people, we realized then quickly that there were all these queerdos and weirdos kind of all over the continent that loved what we were doing. So we just used that momentum to deliver more of everything.
Now, as you girls know, we pride ourselves on celebrating the strange and the wild and the sometimes dangerous side of queer culture.
When I was growing up and I was getting experienced in the gay scene and kind of coming out, drag was really subversive. It was like super punk rock, it was political, it was filthy, it was like wild, it was something that was shocking coming from a suburban town. I came into the big city, it's sort of like the quintessential story, and it really sort of redefining the barriers of like what your life could be like and what queer culture really was.
We kind of felt like maybe the gay culture and drag was becoming a little too safe and a little too G-rated.
Very one note and homogenized.
It was, and we just thought it was starting to really get away from our experience as far as what the gay scene, the queer scene, and the drag scene is really like and what its origins are. So we made it our own mission to say, we don't want to let that part of the artistry die. So we wanted to make a show that highlighted that and sort of celebrated that sort of counterculture, just to keep people aware. That's why we bring in sort of legendary drag judges as well, like Heclina, Peaches Christ, people from history that have chipped in to make,
queer
drag
culture sort of what it is and drag culture what it is.
Well, I think it's causing quite the stir here in Canada because Canadians can go on the show. Oh my God, you hear that, Canadian girls? Get your applications in. See you there.
This is Boy Spence reporting at the Val Villa in Vancouver for OutlookTV. See you next time.
That is all the time we have for this episode of Outlook TV, but you know we'll be back.
And in the meantime, the internet's always there. You can find us on all the social channels, the Facebooks and the Twitters, or shoot us an email if you'd like to volunteer with us.
Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Rebecca Wyman.
And I'm Robert Mackay.
Stay fabulous, Canada.